Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I am back setting up my March budget. So just like in February, I am going to be doing a cash stuffing instead of talking you through my budget in my planner, just because my numbers are staying the same, and I think it's actually been working really well for me to be able to see my numbers and like have the tangible money kind of coming out of my envelopes. And so I'm going to be using this again as a way to keep myself accountable for my own budget. So just to update you a little bit on what I've done, I have this planner cover. This is a Recollections planner cover that I've purchased a long time ago. Didn't buy this for this system. I've had it for a long time now. And inside it, I actually have some envelopes. These envelopes actually came out of my crossbody wallet that I have been using for about 6 months now. So again, not new. I just decided to go ahead and use these envelopes. And this entire setup right here came from my crossbody wallet. It was actually a wallet meant to be a cash envelope wallet, and so I'll link that just so you can see it, but these envelopes came with it, and since I'm using my crossbody as a planner instead of as a budget envelope cash wallet budget system, I decided to take the envelopes out and put them in here just to kind of store them. But one of the things is if you put all the envelopes on here, it's like smaller discs, and so it's like super packed. So I'm going to take it off just so we can kind of do this a little bit more easily, and I'll just kind of put it together once I'm done with the video. But I have all of my categories here, plus my cash. I'm going to start off by getting set up here with the cash. I have them completely random. When I do these cash stuffings, I do use prop money, and so this is like not real money. I have it where I count out what I need each month, and so I kind of like do it by category and have my money kind of set up here. And this is going to be really tight just because of my new recording setup. It's going to be like pretty close to the screen, and I don't know if I'll be able to manage all of it, but we will see. And it looks messy. I should maybe like potentially buy like some kind of organizer for the money so that way it's not taking up quite so much space, but also, you know, like, I mean, it's working. This is really just to hold myself accountable. It's not really, I'm not a budget channel. It's more so like, why do I have a random dollar? I think I know what that's from. Okay, so anyway, it's a little bit messy, but I think we'll survive, right? So I have a certain income that comes in, and I budget way below that dollar amount. So I have today for budgeting for all of my envelopes for the month, it's going to be this dollar amount: 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 100. 150, 200, 250, 300. This will make it a little bit neater too. That'll be nice. All right, so 1,300, 320, 340, 360, 380, 400, 420, 440, 460, 480, 490, 500, 510, 520, 521. So it's $1,521. And so that's well below my monthly budget. My monthly income. I just like to budget well below it so that way I just don't run into any issues of, you know, like having not enough money in savings. So that's how I budget. It's $1,521 that I'm stuffing for the entire month through all of my categories. This doesn't include mortgage or any of our bills, which are automatically debited out. And again, like, it doesn't cover our savings. So like, this is all the money that just goes into the sinking funds and cash envelopes that I'm using. All right. So with all that out of the way, I'm trying to get back into the habit of doing all this. So like, hopefully it's not too crazy all over the place. But the first envelope is Sophia. So Sophia gets $20 every month. I'll pull this 20 right here. I have in previous videos kind of talked about like maybe switching it to real cash for her and trying to teach her a little bit about money, but I think that I'll hold off for a little bit so that way we can work on one thing at a time. Our new goal right now is to work on learning like her days of the week and calendaring, so like kind of focusing on planner related type stuff. So anyway, all that being said, it's still prop money for Sophia for right now. And what she has is 20, 40, 60, 65, 66, 67. So she had a lot of money left over there. I do roll over all envelopes for the entire year. So January, February, March, all the way through until December. It just gets rolled over, and then I pretty much do a reset at the end of the year. All money that's that is left in the envelopes, I just put into savings. So this next one is food. Food gets $300 a month. So there's 300. And for food, I actually had a little bit of money left over. Actually, a lot of money left over. I had 120 left over. That's amazing. I increased the budget this year, 2022, to 300. I've been at 200, and so some months I spend more, some months I spend less. And I normally am around like something, like 180, 190, 200, but I felt like, I just needed a cushion here. So anyway, for food, I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 420 going into March. So that's awesome. I am recording this video before March starts, but I probably won't post it until probably the first week of March. So it's going to be a little bit late. But again, with me doing monthly budgeting, I feel like it can kind of happen at whatever point in time. Like really, just as long as I'm doing it at least once a month, I'm pretty good. So for fun money, I normally get $200. For the month of February, I actually went way over in this category. I think you'll see this in the flip through if you want to see like the actual breakdown of some of the numbers in my expense tracking. But I went a little bit crazy with like clearance items, mostly planner supplies, so like clearanced out planners and planner accessories. And so for fun money, at the end of February, I pretty much went over by $60. So since I normally put $200, but I'm over by $60, what I'm going to put in here is 140. So 200 minus 60 is 140. That's going to go in here to kind of get me started for the month of March. So it just kind of like, I'm just subtracting the $60 that I went over from the dollar amount just from the very beginning. All right, so, since I'm rolling over money, I also like take out any overage from these amounts. So 140 is going into this envelope. Hopefully that made sense. I could just put in 200 and like take out the 60, but I'm just trying to be a little bit honest about how I do the system. So next is gas. Gas gets a random weird dollar amount, $135 each month. That's just based on like some averages that I did across the year. So this is $135 right here. And I actually have a lot of money still left in here, I think. I don't know if it's a lot, but yeah, I have more than 60. So let's get all this combined together, and then we're going to count this down. Yeah, I am not sure like what's going on with gas, so I just want to be, again, safer rather than sorrier about what's going on in here. Okay, so for gas for the month of March, starting March, I have 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 190, 195, 200, 201. So $201 for gas, which is a solid amount. We may be traveling. I don't know that we're going to be traveling in March. We traveled a lot in February, but even with that, like, it wasn't always like on me to pay for it. My husband would pay for gas, and that doesn't come out of my budget. So yeah, I ended up getting my car covered in terms of gas without having to pull out my own money for that. So that was nice. So for gifts gets $100 each month. And I haven't really spent a lot in here. There's been like Valentine's Day prep. So we purchased a couple of things for Valentine's Day, but that was pretty much it. So this is 100, 200, 220, 240, 260, 265. This money does cover all birthdays, holidays, and it's the build up for Christmas as well. So all that goes into this gifts envelope. All right, and then next is health. Health gets $50. And I did spend a couple of things in health in the month of February. Had to purchase like some saline solution for my Navage, which I love that thing. It has really helped with my allergies. And so I've been purchasing things for my Navage, and then just like medications and things like that. So this is right now 50, 70, 90, 95, 100, 105, 106, 107. So I haven't spent quite $50, so that's still a solid amount. This covers all like medical copays, like medications, things like that. So I'm glad to see that go up. That was one of the ones I increased in 2022. All right, next is home. Home covers like home decor, things like that. In February, actually in January, I increased this dollar amount to 25. So it's now at $25 each month. And I still have money in here, but I have been trying to update our house and just like make everything a little bit like more cohesive and look nicer, new pillows, that type of thing. I haven't done all of that, but that's my goal in 2022. So this is what that money is for. 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. Super excited about that. I might have some time in the month of March to maybe like go shopping for some home decor. So that'll be really nice. All right, and then travel. Travel is interesting. Okay, so one thing is that in February I actually paid for a vacation, but I did have money saved up from 2021 that went into savings. I actually had about $4,000 go into savings. So I decided to pay for that vacation through savings. So yeah, I did spend a lot of money, but that money came straight out of savings. But you know, I just, again, trying to be accountable for my own self. I did spend way more than what's in here. So with all that being said, though, travel gets $200 every month. And you know, like the trip was actually over $1,000. So if I were just relying on the money from this envelope, like it would definitely be depleted, because you know, like I've only saved up like $400 and then I'm paying for like this like over $1,000 trip. But I just pulled money from savings for that specific trip. So now in this envelope I have 200, sorry, I can't even count, 100, 200, 300, 400, 405, 406, 407, which is the beginnings of another nice trip. I am hoping that like that's the only trip that I'll be paying out of savings, and that I can build this back up and actually use this to pay for vacations instead of pulling from savings. I don't really love doing that, but I did have the money. That was the whole point of having savings, right? Is to be able to kind of know that these big expenses are coming up, and or even if they're unexpected expenses, have that money saved, right? So the next one is car. Car gets $75 a month. And I actually have not had to do anything with my car, although it does need like some kind of service, oil change or something, because the light is on. So I need to actually schedule that in the next week or two. So this money will probably go away or like be reduced. I don't know if I'm going to use all of it, but yeah, this money will change in March. All right, so right now I have 50, 100, 150, 170, 190, 210, 215, 220, 225. This prop money is kind of hard to count too, so I don't know if you've noticed that, but it's a little bit more of a struggle than real money. Education. Education normally gets $100. Now, the thing about education is that I actually went over, we had to pay for a couple of different like recital fees, things like that for Sophia's ballet. And so we were actually over by $4 on this envelope. And so normally it gets $100, but because we were over $4, I'm minusing out $4 from the $100 to get $96. And again, you know, just I could have put in 100 and then just taken it out later, but like I'm just trying to be accountable to myself. So what's actually going in here is $96. And so that's where this dollar comes in, I think. All right, so 50, 70, 90, 95, 96. Let me just shift this a little bit. All right, so 96 is going in here, and I know that's what's in here because this is like zeroed out at this point, right? So it should be empty, right? It is. These envelopes are like super cute, but they have like random designs, so I just like picked a random one, all right? And then last category is house. So house gets $480 every month, and I spent a little bit of this money already on like exterminator and that type of thing, but mostly it's still there. So this will be 100, 200, 300, 400, 450, 470, 480. All right, and then it just goes in here. So let's get it all combined here and count this down. All right, so what do I have in house? I've been trying to save like 2% of our like house appraisal value into this envelope. And I've been trying to do that split across the year, divided by the month. So 2% of your house annually should be saved, and then divide that by 12 is kind of how I arrived at 480, right? So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, all right, 1,000. This money is really hard to count, all right? 100, 200, 250, 300, 320, 340, 360, 370, 380, 390. So $1,390. Seems like a random amount, but I guess I must have spent some of that money, like I said, on like extermination or some other thing. So not quite sure why it's at 90, but probably it was like a $50 fee or something like that. All right, so those were all of my envelopes. So yeah, that's it for my envelopes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. hopefully that gives you some idea for how I budget. Everyone's budget is going to be different, so the amounts that I set for myself obviously will not be the dollar amounts that you set for yourself. Do your own budget for what you need in your own life. But I hope it gives you some inspiration for understanding how I kind of do my budget, and hopefully, you know, it can help you get started on the journey. So if you have any questions about budgeting, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'm not a budget expert, but this is just my own personal journey, and I enjoy talking to people about budgeting. So if you have questions, do let me know. Leave a comment if you have them. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video. Bye guys.